Okay. He loves to work out with you,
Love that.
but he's in the NBA.
I can't anymore. No, I draw the line. Like maybe hooking up,
Ooh.
because I can hook up with people and like not think about it.
We are not going to revisit the past, but sometimes you do get what you want, and sometimes you get what you deserve. But there's also a light at the end of a tunnel because we can all learn from our mistakes and be better than where we came from.
Fine, come over.
Who makes the worst decisions when it comes to guys in your family?
Can I say myself?
Yeah.
Khloe Kardashian, after having 2 kids with her baby daddy Tristan Thompson, which used to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't know what he's doing now in his NBA career, but she has recently come out to say that she doesn't want to be involved with any NBA players anymore. But sometimes it's not about the packaging, it's more about the content. And this is what I think most people miss. Because sometimes you can change the packaging of a gift. You can change the packaging of a house. You can change the painting, you can change your design. But the inside of that house is still messed up because it is what you are attracted to. Might I say there are some NBA players that are pretty healthy in healthy, stable relationships. From the outside looking in, just from what we know, because we don't really know these people's lives. But that is not what most of these women look for at the end of the day. Everybody knows that athletes should be avoided by all costs. And with specific regards to Khloe, even though she put herself in this situation by first marrying Lamar and then getting with Tristan, and getting with Tristan in the sense whereby karma has come back to bite her in the ass because she was once involved with a man that was with another woman. It all comes from childhood. Now, I do not know how she was raised, but there is something about her childhood that enabled her to be involved in this type of relationships. And we can take a look at the rest of her siblings. Kim, Courtney. I think Kendall is the only one that doesn't have a baby right now. The rest of them are all involved in some type of legal battle or baby daddy, baby mama drama. And if it is a pattern, it's something that all stems from the childhood because they were all raised in the same home, under the same environment.
Plan, and if it's in God's will, it's going to happen, not to get all spiritual, but I do think what's meant for you is always going to find you no matter what, but you have to believe it's going to happen. And mainly you have to believe that you're worthy of that. There was a long time that I didn't think I was worthy of a certain type of love. And I think that shows. And I really had to work on myself and say that I'm worthy of the same type of love that so many other people are.
By how people get into a limelight, or by how people get into a stardom lifestyle, we can tell the things that they like about it. Khloe may say that she doesn't like NBA players or she doesn't like athletes as a whole, but she still likes a particular trait that comes with this type of people that she tends to date. As long as with her other sisters that they all tend to date. It's a lifestyle, it's a personality. There are good people in every field. Now, there may be more bad people in a particular field, but that doesn't mean that you can't find the good ones, and it all starts with them. Are you a person that a good NBA player or a good athlete would want to be with? That's where this question needs to be answered from. And that seems to be something that everybody seems to miss out on. Everybody likes to talk about what they deserve. Everybody likes to talk about who they're not willing to entertain anymore when it comes to a relationship. But somehow they can entertain anybody when it comes to hooking up, which doesn't make sense. Because who you hook up with, that person still leaves something, whether it's by what you enjoy or what you don't like, that trickles into your relationship life in some way or another. Why people think that these two are separated is interesting to me. Now, human beings are different. One person may be better at separating it or living a lie to themselves, but that doesn't mean that they are not still interconnected. Everything that we do is interconnected. A house comes with water bills, it comes with electricity bills, but it all makes up a house. If one area is not functioning well, that house is not a house that anybody would like to live in. So when it comes to relationships and who somebody wants to be with, you cannot separate one area from another. You cannot separate emotions from physical satisfaction. If you separate it, you are going to reap what you sow when you try to combine it all again in a partner that you want to marry or spend the rest of your life with. And this is why I think that in this interview, there are still cracks that need to be worked on. Now, I have no experience. Khloe is 40 years old. What type of life have I lived? But that doesn't mean that I do not know what I'm talking about. At the same time, I do. So, if you don't want some type of energies brought around you, don't even entertain them in a talking phase. Don't entertain them in an intimate relationship, because it will trickle down into a marital relationship that you may possibly have in the future.
It could have been that I was just so hormonal and new. I don't know. But yeah, it's just I know if I didn't have a baby, I never would have stayed with Tristan. Like, ever.
This is why I also say that people should be very important when it comes to the person they choose to have kids with. If you don't have a kid with somebody, it is easier for you to separate that person from your life. It's not saying that it's a guarantee, but it's definitely easier. But when you have to co-parent somebody, it then brings into the question, do I have to force myself to make things work with this person? Because now you're not only thinking about yourself, you're thinking about the child. And this applies both to male and female. If the person is not good for you, you're left with two options. You either get with somebody else, especially when you're not done having children. You get with somebody else and get involved with that person, hoping that it works out. You end up having two baby daddies. Hopefully the second one ends up being your husband. But even then, it's not a guarantee. This is why, even if you don't want to get married, but you still want to have kids, it is important to do your work and be smart about picking the person that you would choose to have kids with, because that person can make or break you, and you will have to deal with them till the day that you die. People focus on outwardly things way too much. And at the same time, I don't blame them, because the outward is just a representation of what is inward inside somebody. But it's not everything that you can take on base value. It's not everything that you can just take up for what it is, because a lot of people can pretend. And people will pretend a long, long time. So you ask the right questions, you go to the right places, you ask the right people, and at the same time, you build yourself to be the person that you need to be to leave in case you see something that is of a red flag. Not everybody comes from a proper family background. Not everybody is raised in an influential family or a family where money was not a problem. Most people come from average homes. The average person comes from a less than average type of family background or less than average type of healthy environment. But we all got work to do because we live in a world that is not perfect. And even if you do look like you come from a perfect home and you do claim that you come from a perfect home, that probably shows, if not more, how imperfect you are, because you are living in a lie and you're trying to prove yourself to people that don't need anything from you. So all we can do is move forward. We hope that this is not passed down to the next generation, at least for Khloe, because she already has her kids. And we do hope that these things are not repeated, because if it's not repeated, that is a proof and a sign that it wasn't tackled in the growing up phase with these children. But time will tell. You live and you learn, and you hope to make the right decision. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. The Burning Coals. Like and share.